Hello everybody, it's Spurs Radio 96 here, and welcome to the 4th episode of the FIFA 20 Borussia Mönchengladbach career mode. We begin today's episode with Bundesliga action, the 6th match of the league, here at the Pre-Zero Arena, where we'll be playing Hoffenheim. If you haven't checked out the last episode, I advise you do so, where we had a much better episode, where we began our Europa League campaign against Istanbul Başakşehir. Then we had a home game, league games against Fortuna Düsseldorf and our bitter rivals FC Köln. There are some players to note. Sergej Enric and Andre Silva both have 3 goals in the past 3 matches. Andre Silva having a great start to his Borussia Mönchengladbach career. Only at home though, he scored goals against Schalke at home and Red Bull Leipzig, as well as of course getting 2 goals against Istanbul Başakşehir. Mönchengladbach slowly just starting to recover after a bit of a terrible start to the season. We beat Schalke, then we lost horribly away to Mainz, and we then lost at home to Red Bull Leipzig. But since then, we've had 2 consecutive victories in the Bundesliga. We won away at FC Köln, our fierce rivals, in the Rhineland derby, where we managed to register our first points, goals and clean sheet of the Bundesliga season. In terms of away form, there is Hoffenheim's lineup for you. They're going for a 4-3-3 lineup for today's match. And both clubs coming into this match, Hoffenheim is 8th and Borussia Mönchengladbach 9th in the table, so pretty close together in the table. Whoever wins this match will jump above, each other, really. If Hoffenheim wins, they go above us, and if we win, we go above Hoffenheim. And we're going for the classic 4-2-3-1 formation. The first team comes in for this match. And we come on to the 9th minute, where Hoffenheim have the ball. Great pass, and here's Bierbo. Bierbo's going forward, and there's a player in space. He's going to take a strike, and he's hit the post. Great chance there for Hoffenheim to take the lead. But there goes the half-time whistle, and it's 0-0. Not much to choose, really, between the 2 sets of teams on the pitch today. Both teams having some reasonably good chances, but both being thwarted by good saves from the keepers, and sometimes the chances just not quite working out. But half-time at the Pre-Zero Arena, it is TSG Hoffenheim 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 0. And let's take a look at the half-time results around the grounds. Nuremberg are behind against Bayern Munich. So is Mainz against Wolfsburg. Red Bull Leipzig leads Schalke by 1-0. So let's go on to the second half highlights. And there really wasn't much highlights in truth. Again, the same as the first half, really. Not both teams cancelled each other out. Bit of a battle in the middle of the park, so to speak. Be getting the ball back, in terms of dispossessing each other and so on and so forth. But it is another another positive result on the road for Borussia Mönchengladbach. A second consecutive away clean sheet. But it's a point, not a win, so I'm sure the attacking players of the 2 teams will be frustrated. But full time at the Pre-Zero Arena, it's TSG Hoffenheim 0, Mönchengladbach 0, and the other results: Nuremberg lost 2-0 to Bayern Munich, Mainz lost 1-0 to Wolfsburg, and Red Bull Leipzig beat Schalke by 2-0. And we're going on to the post-match interviews now of the draw. And of course they're going to be asking my impression on a hard-fought contest, and I thought it was an even game. 2 very strong defences. Both teams did have chances, but of course, obviously, not all of them were taken. Of course, they will have some good saves as well from both sets of keepers. And they were asking, did I aim for today's result in terms of win or something like that? And I put our defence deserves praise, and because after the hammering we got at Mainz, I thought we were going to have a horrible start to the season in terms of away form, but we've picked it up. We beat Köln, and we've got a point here and a clean sheet against Hoffenheim. And they were asking me about an opposition player, and to be honest, I didn't really give a shit really about other players. I was just focused on the team's performance, and I felt pretty happy and satisfied with a point away at Hoffenheim. Now we've got more press work as we have the pre-match press conference to a upcoming Europa League fixture, and obviously they are asking if we can continue our great start to the Europa League campaign, where of course we won 5-1 at home against Istanbul Başakşehir at Borussia Park. And I'm just telling the press that we have to stay focused, no point getting carried away. I mean, no doubt I was absolutely delighted to win the first European game of the career mode, but not in that kind of fashion. I didn't expect it to be like 5-1. And they were asking me how will I approach the upcoming match. And, well, we cannot underestimate our opponents in the group, especially the team we're playing up against, which is Roma, pretty much the team we will fear the most. But we cannot underestimate them, because they can all come up with some good surprises and can probably beat us. You never know. They were asking me if I bring stability to the squad, and yeah, I'm confident. The players, they picked up their game recently, picked up their heads, especially after that disaster against Mainz and Red Bull Leipzig. But we've done pretty well, you know. We've thrashed Dusseldorf and of course Başakşehir in the Europa League. But let's turn our attention to the Stadio Olimpico, where we will be facing Roma, our by far the challengers to watch in this group. The team that could upset the apple cart for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Nice motif there of Roma. Of course, they won their first game of the season away against Austrian side Wolfsberger AC. So both two teams will be definitely fighting for top spot in the group. No doubt this will be a very difficult challenge here away on Rome's turf, the Stadio Olimpico, full to the rafters and no doubt full of passionate support. Of course, Roma have had a pretty successful time recently in European competitions. I remember that fantastic fight back against Barcelona in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, and of course they gave Liverpool a good fright here at the Stadio Olimpico. So this is Mönchengladbach's biggest test so far in the Europa League. There's the lineup for Roma. Paul Lopez is in goal. We've got Ruben Neves, who signed from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Mkhitaryan's on the right there, who was on loan, of course, from Arsenal. And Fazio, who used to be a player for Tottenham Hotspur, starts in the centre-back position. A very good quality Roma side in the same formation as Mönchengladbach. And speaking of Mönchengladbach, there is the lineup. In most of this lineup have been featured pretty much in most of the games, bar one, which was that fantastic victory the reserve team put up against Fortuna Dusseldorf. But hopefully we can keep our nerves here in Rome. On to the 6th minute, and Roma have a free kick. And Elvedi has managed to get the ball back. Brilliant response from Mönchengladbach. Here's Silva. Thorgan Hazard's on the ball, and he's getting into the box and he's crossed it in. Mönchengladbach storm into the lead in Rome. A sunny play has opened the scoring here, and that is a massive boost for Borussia Mönchengladbach in terms of their confidence playing away at Roma's turf. What a start here for Mönchengladbach. Great cross from Thorgan Hazard. He's been doing great crosses at the start of his career mode, and a sunny play with a great finish. He's scored against Istanbul Başakşehir. He's now scored here at the Stadio Olimpico. At the moment, it's turning into a dream start to the UEFA Europa League. 9 minutes on the clock, and Borussia Mönchengladbach have struck early once again. Sunny play strike means it's Roma 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 1. 14th minute, and Mönchengladbach hold on from Roma battering our defence, but now Mönchengladbach can go on attack. Great pass from a sunny play, and Andre Silva's got the ball, and there's players in support. It's 2-0 Borussia Mönchengladbach. They want to wrap up the points early. Thorgan Hazard now gets on the score sheet. It's 2-0 in 60 minutes, and the boos are ringing around the Stadio Olimpico. Roma just couldn't keep up with the attack that Mönchengladbach possessed. Asani play was in there as well as Thorgan Hazard, and what a cool, calm pass from Andre Silva to find Thorgan Hazard in space and onside, and of course a great finish from Thorgan Hazard. His second goal in the Europa League, just like Asani play, and it's now Roma 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 2. An extraordinary start. 24th minute, Roma have the ball, and they've been dispossessed again. They're not doing very well with keeping the ball. Here's Asani play, and now it's Sakaya. Sakara's in space, and he's going to take a strike, and it's 3-0. What an amazing first half for Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are tearing Roma apart. What a surprising performance, not just for Mönchengladbach in terms of how good they are, but Roma as well, how bad they're playing. Look at it. They're no commitment, no desire to get forward and intercept Mönchengladbach with the ball or any passing. They've been terrible giving the ball away, and Roma are being torn apart here by Borussia Mönchengladbach, and I'm absolutely delighted, as well as surprised when I was actually playing it. Dennis Sakira, his first goal in Europe this season, and wow, that surely wraps up the 3 points already. It's Roma 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 3 in under half an hour. And that's a great a tackle there to win the ball back from Bisbiani, and Roma are being torn apart again on the charge. Comes Thorgan Hazard, and there's space. Asani play hits the crossbar, and Johnson has put it in. It's 4. Roma are being destroyed. Borussia Mönchengladbach are certainly going to cement top spot in the group. They're running riot here. Incredible. I was not expecting this. Would you believe it? Roma giving the ball away again. Asani play took a chance, but it funded the crossbar, but it came back to Johnson, and a great strike there from Johnson. And Borussia Mönchengladbach are absolutely flying. Roma are all over the place. I mean, the amount of options we have it's laughable. Fabian Johnson scores his second goal of the Europa League, and it's 4-0 in the first half. This is incredible. And the half-time whistle is going to come, and there we go. A bit of respite for Roma. They'll be desperate to finish, get in the dressing room out of the probably amount of they probably want to get out off the pitch because of the amount of abuse they're getting from the Roma fans. But pulling the strings, Asani play, well, the whole team have played very well. What a surprising and extraordinary first half. 4 goals here at the Stadio Olimpico, and it's already game over here. And it's Roma 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 4, and it's only half-time. The other results around the grounds are Istanbul Başakşehir lead 1-0 against Wolfsburger AC, Besiktas 1-0 down against SC Braga, CSK Moscow 1-0 down against RC Strasbourg, Manchester United lead Hertha Midlothian 1-0 as well. And of course you can pause the video and see the other results. And as we scroll down to the other page, when we do, there we go. Wolverhampton Wanderers lead Victoria Pleasant by 1-0, as well as Wolfsburg does against Ghent. Just starting the second half highlights, and Roma have a goal kick, and they've given the ball away again, dispossessed, and here comes Asani play, and he's onside. No, he is, and there's another player. It's Andre Silva. He gets on the act as well. It's a 5-star display from Borussia Mönchengladbach. 5 minutes into the second half, and they resume what they've been doing in the first half, tearing Roma apart. They've the will, the desire, the commitment to get the ball back, and they've done it again. They've scored another one. Andre Silva gets on the act here. Roma are falling apart, and I can imagine the Roma fans already heading for the exit. And look at the difference in emotion from the Roma manager in the background compared to me. Absolutely delighted. An efficient, destructive display Mönchengladbach have put on here today. Andre Silva's got 3 goals in Europe, and we've scored 5 goals. It's 5-0, and we're only 5 minutes into the second half. But there goes the half-time whistle, full-time whistle, It's a fantastic display from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Another 5-star display in the UEFA Europa League. Roma were torn apart in pretty much every single department. They were nowhere. They didn't turn up. And 5 goals here at Rome at the Stadio Olimpico, something I certainly didn't expect. But goals from Andre Silva, Sonny Play, Fabian Johnson, Thorgan Hazard and Zakaira as well means Mönchengladbach have scored 10 goals in 2 Europa League games. Full time, it is Roma 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 5. Wow, what a performance. And here's the full-time results of the Europa League group games. And let's go on to the post-match interview. And wow, what a performance. I just didn't expect it. I thought we were going to give us a close game. I thought we were going to head for a draw or defeat, really. I would have been happy with a close 2-1 win or something, but 5-0, that is emphatic. I must say as well that I didn't change the difficulty for that game or throughout the career mode. It's been on professional difficulty. So, yeah, wow, what a display. And no doubt cements top spot in the group. I'm asking how Chris Kramer was, and I was saying the team was all right. And expecting a more competitive match, yeah, well, I wasn't expecting it. I mean, even though the morale of the team and Kramer have gone down, I am honest with these questions. And they're asking how pleased am I with the performance. Well, I am absolutely delighted. It was an unbelievable display. It's just incredible. I mean, to score 10 goals in 2 Europa League games, that in itself is a dream. But to put 5 past Roma, our closest challengers in this group, that's just quite extraordinary. But yeah, let's go return to Bundesliga action here at Borussia Park. And there's a nice motive there from the Mönchengladbach fans as we have a match here, league match against FC Augsburg. Our position in the table didn't change as much. In fact, we fell behind. I think we fell to 10th place in the league with that 0-0 draw against TSG Hoffenheim away at the Pre-Zero Arena. And a player to watch from Augsburg's point of view is Graziano Pelle, who used to play for Southampton and in China. He scored 3 goals in the past 3 matches. There is the Bundesliga table, and actually we're not 10th, we are in 8th place with 10 points. Of course, we've got a game in hand over some others as well. FC Augsburg, I think, were below us, I believe, in the table. But the team today that will appear will be the reserve team. I thought I'll give them a chance to stretch their legs and give the first team a chance to have a well-needed rest, because they've just been on fire, just scoring goals for fun. And particularly we've been doing well scoring goals early in the first and second halves recently. We've been starting games really, really well, and attendance. And okay, we might concede a goal here and there, but we've tended to keep a consistent performance throughout the 90 minutes. And there's the lineup for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Lars Stindl and Thuram and Embolo all got on the score sheet in a 4-1 victory at Borussia Park against Fortuna Düsseldorf, the only time this team was used. There is Augsburg's lineup. And there is Khedira. Is that Sami Khedira in the midfield? Wow, that would be amazing if it is him. Looks like him, doesn't it? But they're going for a 4-4-2 formation. So a very attacking lineup for FC Augsburg. On to the second minute, just starting. Mönchengladbach have the ball with Strobel. Embolo. Oh, beautiful pass to find his way through. And Stindl fights off pressure! He fights off pressure from the Augsburg players. And he scores early. And Borussia Mönchengladbach have taken the lead against Augsburg. And the fans go wild. The good form continues for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Look at that from Embolo. Nice, precise control over the ball. He was fending off 3 players. Somehow had the vision to find Lars Stindl, who managed to wrestle the ball back from an Augsburg player. Or was trying to... an Augsburg player was trying to get the ball back from Stindl, I should say, but Stindl shrugged him off and took a great strike, and Lars Stindl scores his second goal of the season, and Borussia Mönchengladbach have scored early again in the Bundesliga. We're having a decent start to our home campaign. It's 1-0 against Augsburg in 5 minutes. On to the 38th minute. Mönchengladbach have the ball. Augsburg trying to take the fight to us, but now here's Patrick Herrmann, and he's crossed it in. And Mbolo's there, but there's support! It's 2-0, just past the 40-minute mark. Strobel is on the score sheet now, and Borussia Mönchengladbach are heading for another victory in the Bundesliga. And our unbeaten run continues. Another good pass from Mbolo to find Strobel in space and onside, way onside. And that's another good, efficient attacking display there from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Great period of play there. And Tobias Strobel gets his first goal of the season. And just past 40 minutes, Borussia Mönchengladbach have increased their lead. No doubt to the joy of the home support. And the added time is over. The referee blows his whistle for half-time. Good, efficient display from Borussia Mönchengladbach. When they've had the chances, they've taken them. Graziano Pella's been missing in action. He hasn't hasn't done much for FC Augsburg, as you could tell by those stats. To be fair, Augsburg have given, when they've had the ball, they've tended to frustrate Mönchengladbach. But 2 goals from Stindl and Stroman means it's 2-0 at half-time. And the added time goes of the second half. Pretty stalemate, really. Augsburg had a lot of the ball. They did try to create some chances, but they weren't nowhere near as good as what Mönchengladbach certainly did with their chances. But Mönchengladbach continue their little unbeaten run. That's now 4 games unbeaten in the Bundesliga, and another efficient, if not unspectacular, display from the reserve team. And the crowd are happy. Full time, it's Borussia Mönchengladbach 2, FC Augsburg 0, and it is our second consecutive clean sheet in the Bundesliga. And we're now going to go on to the post-match interview. And of course, they're just asking me my view on today's match, if I was expecting to beat FC Augsburg. And that was a tough one, actually. I was going to go, and I went for, always expecting Mönchengladbach to win, because, you've got to have that feeling going into these games. You can feel it, you have to have that feeling that every game you're going to, you can come out with a successful result, regardless if you concede 5 goals, as long as you score like 6 goals, and it doesn't matter. They were asking what did we make of the second half, and it was all right. I mean, it was Augsburg did quieten us down a bit. I mean, they had a lot of the ball. They did create some chances. They gave it a good go in the second half, which is fair to them, actually. And now they were asking how difficult Augsburg was, and they were all right. Second half was a bit tougher, but it didn't. It's important to just move forward and focus on the next bunch of games coming up. But let's look at the Bundesliga table now. Bayern Munich are now top of the table with 19 points, 6 wins, 1 draw, and the only team yet to taste defeat. They've scored 15 goals, but conceded just 1, which is the best defence in the Bundesliga. Second now is Red Bull Leipzig with 18 points, 6 wins, and 2 defeats, 14 goals scored, 5 conceded. Bayer Leverkusen is third in the table with also 18 points, only goal difference keeping them off second place. They've scored 13 goals and conceded 5. Borussia Dortmund is fourth with 16 points, 5 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat, 14 goals scored, 2 conceded. VfL Wolfsburg are fifth with 14 points, 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats, 13 goals scored, 8 conceded. Hertha Berlin is into the top 6 with 13 points, 4 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats, 16 goals scored, 11 conceded. Eintracht Frankfurt is 7th with also 13 points. Borussia Mönchengladbach remains in 8th place with also 13 points, 4 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats, 11 goals scored, but 8 conceded. So we're slowly scoring, lot more goals, and just starting to, get a bit of consistent performance going on in terms of the defensive point of view. I mean, we've had 3 clean sheets in the last 4 games, so that is encouraging. To complete the top 10, we've got DSG Hoffenheim, who are in 9th place with 10 points. Werder Bremen complete the top 10 with also 10 points. Mainz is 11th with 9 points, 2 wins, 3 draws, 2 defeats, 11 goals scored, 6 conceded. FC Augsburg is 12th with 7 points. Schalke is 13th, slowly recovering. They've got 5 points, 1 win, 2 draws, 4 defeats, 6 goals scored, 12 conceded. FC Köln is 14th with also 5 points. Fortuna Düsseldorf itself is 15th with also 5 points, but conceding 16 goals in the process. And then the relegation playoff and relegation zone, we've got FC Nuremberg in 16th with 4 points, 1 win, 1 draw, 5 defeats, 8 goals scored, 15 conceded. Hanover 96 is 17th with just 1 point, 1 draw and 6 defeats. Not good for them. VfB Stuttgart still stuck at the bottom with no points at all. 7 straight defeats, 2 goals scored for worst offensive record in the Bundesliga, and they have the worst defence as well, conceding 21 goals. So yeah, Mönchengladbach are slowly getting the right results and are slowly climbing up the table. As you can see from the Europa League, Group J, Mönchengladbach comfortably top with 6 points, 2 wins, 10 goals scored, 1 conceded. Roma remains in second place on goal difference. Istanbul Basaksehir did beat Wolfsberger AC. The full-time score was 1-0. So let's take a look at the preview of the next episode, and what a start to the episode we have. A big away match at the Signal Iduna Park against Borussia Dortmund, critical to our hopes of getting into the Champions League spots. Then we have another Europa League group stage match, this time at home against Wolfsberger AC, so it's top versus bottom of Group J. And then to conclude the episode, we will have another Bundesliga match, this time at home against Eintracht Frankfurt, another difficult fixture. So yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series. Like and subscribe for the series and other content I make on the channel. And we'll see you next time. Take care.